Manila's ambassador to Washington, Jose Manuel Romualdez said the U.S. Yes, he said this yesterday. The U.S. is waiting for the Philippines to seek its assistance over Chinese vessels massing in the West Philippine Sea. What's the response of the Philippines to the support of the U.S.? What's the response of the Philippines to the support of the U.S.? When will we seek this assistance? What assistance?
By their pronouncements of the Secretary of State, as well as what Secretary Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, has said, they are reiterating that we have the Mutual Defense Treaty, and they will come to our succor if we get into a shooting war as called for in the Mutual Defense Treaty. But I think that the situation, we are not in that kind of situation where we are about to be in a shooting war with Chinese forces in the area.
Okay.
We know that the Mutual Defense Treaty is there. We also know that the provisions include that the territory must be within the metropolitan territory of the Philippines, and that it will come into, it can be called, it can be triggered if public conveyances as well as government assets are hit by the whoever is the other side or the enemy. It has not come to that. It has not come to that. And we do not think that they would be able to drive away anybody there. This is something that we would like to address by the deployment of our patrol forces, our Coast Guard, our Bureau of Fisheries, as well as our military assets, and by direct diplomatic relations with China. It is not all a matter of legal precepts that we could enforce our will in the area. When the president says we can only retake the West Philippine Sea with force, then that is very correct. If you want to retake Mischief Reef, Pyricross, and Subi, then you have to use force. And if you do that, then it will be a shooting war. And so that's what he says, that it will be bloody, and I'm sure that it will be very difficult to win a war. That is not tantamount to surrendering, because after all, we are deploying only yesterday in the meeting of the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea. We have realigned our assets so that we could have more patrol ships in the area from the Coast Guard primarily, from the Navy, as well as from the Bureau of Fisheries. So when we look at the area, let us just be informed also that we are not talking as if there are no other elements there.
Yes.
And we are not giving up on our claims on the KIG, Kalayaan Island Group, which is now a municipality, with its seat in Pag-asa, where we have the airstrip and the structures there, as shown earlier in the briefing. We are not giving up on the EEZ because that has been granted to us by the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea. So we have sovereign rights over the waters, as we say. Then we have our arbitral ruling, which defined the features, like Pag-asa now, as they say, has a 12 nautical mile entitlement. We used to say that it has an EEZ, but now because of the arbitral ruling, it's now a 12 nautical mile territorial sea that it has. So medyo nagbago ang ating situation doon. But we know that the arbitral ruling also said that the 9-dash line claim of China has no historical basis.